Hello, welcome to the second game of the day. It's the last quarter-final game in the FIFA Club World Cup 2025, currently ongoing in the United States. Earlier on, we brought to you live commentary from that epic game between Paris Saint-Germain and then also Bayern Munich, with PSG showing their mettle in that one as they booked a 2-0 win, which saw them cruise into the last four of the tournament. That was a game with so many talking points because PSG at some point were reduced to 9 men, but then they still managed to hold on to that vital win as they chased their 5th title or their 5th trophy of the season. But then our featured game for now is another, mouth-watering clash between Borussia Dortmund and then also Real Madrid, and not only play-by-play commentary, but then also we'll be having an interesting conversation along the line because I'm already here with my able panelist who will be helping me with the commentary. My name is Josiah, and we are live on TikTok, Our Media Sports. We are also live on YouTube, Our Media channel, and then also we are live on Facebook, and like we've always done it and like we always do it, it's an interactive one, so you can also hit us up with where you're watching or monitoring from, as well as your prediction. So 3 spots, 3 places, 3 tickets for teams have been booked in the semi-final stage with 1 more left to go. Is it going to be Real Madrid or it's going to be Borussia Dortmund? This is a repetition of the 2024 UEFA Champions League final, which saw Real Madrid win by 2-0. But that's quite different, isn't it? Because this is the FIFA Club World Cup. We're gradually edging towards the climax of this huge competition. It's come with so many downsides. It's come with so many criticisms. But then also we as neutrals continue to enjoy the game. So welcome once again, live on TikTok, live on Facebook, live on YouTube, and I'm live here with Messi and then also Kai. Welcome.
Thank you.
Messi, we even missed a bit, but quickly let me take your thoughts on that game between PSG and Bayern Munich. I believe you were watching closely. Bayern Munich have been booted out, but then PSG, they continue to raise their game as the days and weeks go by, and it looks like they are clearly favourites now to win the competition.
Yeah, as expected. I predicted a win for PSG. I expected, Bayern to just score 1 goal at least. But as usual, PSG, they are the team of the season right now. So it comes as no surprise actually to see them continuously, take people out and progress to the next stage. And the game was interesting. Looking at the fact that they had more men down and still won 2-0. That is spectacular. And I think Luis Enrique once again is doing all the right things.
Interesting. So that's a take as far as that game witnessed earlier on is concerned. It was PSG getting the better of Bayern Munich in a game that saw quite a number of incidents happen, quite some dramatic ending to that story as well. But it's PSG laughing into the last 4 of the tournament. Let me quickly run you through the lineups for both teams. I'll be taking the thoughts of my pundits here. The lineups already out. So we start off with Real Madrid. They qualified into the quarterfinals at the expense of Juventus. They beat them by a lone goal, and they still keep that team. So it's an unchanged 11 by Xabi Alonso with Thibaut Courtois man in the poster. You have a 3-back of Antonio Rudiger, Chouameni, and then also Dean Huijsen. And then also in midfield, there's Jude Bellingham, there's Federico Valverde, and then also there's Adegula. Frank Garcia will be playing at left wing back, and then Trent, he set up the winner for Real Madrid the last time out. He has also kept his place in the team at the right wing back position. And that also, I was thinking that Kylian Mbappe, after making his debut, his very first appearance in the game against Juventus, he was going to start this time around. But then Xabi Alonso keeps his faith in the 20-year-old Gonzalo Garcia. He's also on 3 goals. He'll be hoping to add up to his tally. He's only 1 shy of the tournament top scorer. That's Angel Di Maria. He's on 3 goals, and then also Vini Jr. And that is the Madrid 11. Quickly, before I go to Messi, that's the Madrid setup. 3-back system. It looks like gradually they are beginning to buy into the philosophy bit by bit. Yeah, it's definitely going to take some time. It's going to have a toll on the players. But it looks like Xabi Alonso has some confidence in the system.
Yes, if you look at this Real Madrid current team as compared to last season, there's been a lot of twists in this lineup. You look at a player like Garcia, who is just 20 years old, commanding the attacking line ahead of Mbappe due to injury situations. And then you see they've changed from the typical 4-4-2 or 4-3-3 formation to a 3-back system. And then having more men in the middle half of the field, which is they've got Alexander-Arnold, who has a very, very powerful drive going forward, and then shifted Garcia, also the left back, a bit in front. So they are added to the midfield trio already, so making it 5 midfielders, and then with 3 at the back. He's shifted the DM in the person of Tchouaméni to the centre back, and then complementing him with Antonio Rudiger and then Hussein. Hussein on any day is a very good centre back, very composed, ball playing centre back. Now with a physical player like Rudiger, so they have one very aggressive player and then one very cool-tempered guy, and then also a mixture of the two. You know, Tchouaméni, he can be very aggressive, he can also be very calm at the back. So they are sorted, but what is left with them is if Arnold will be able to do the runs in and out on any day, these 3 players are capable of succumbing or calming down any pressure towards them, these 3 defenders. But then in attack also, Vinicius Jr. needs no introduction. He's been a star boy of the team for years. Adagula gradually gaining his confidence and then building momentum in this particular team. And then he's beginning to become the darling boy of Coach Xabi Alonso. So it's quite a lineup I expected, because I didn't expect Kylian Mbappe to just walk straight in. Looking at what 20-year-old Garcia has been able to demonstrate so far, scoring 3 goals in your debut season, senior season, is not a small achievement. So it's spot on.
Right. So Courage feels it's spot on from Xabi Alonso, and he would be hoping at least to make it into the last 4, and he could be facing Paris Saint-Germain, best team currently in Europe statistically. Now let's move to Borussia Dortmund, led by Niko Kovac, who is the manager. It looks like an identical setup by Kovac as well. There's a 3-back system made up of Rami Ben-Sebaini, there's Vladimir Anton, and then also Lukas Schul. Then in midfield, there's Pascal Grosch. He will be paired with Mikel Sabitzer. Reason played as a right wing back. Svensson also played as a left wing back. Then you have Julian Brandt playing behind Karim Adeyemi, and then also Shehu Guirassy, who scored twice in their win against Monterrey.
Guirassy.
I think this is going to be an interesting match, because both of them are playing the 3-back system. And we saw how Xabi Alonso was able to scale through his last performance with that same system. And initially, I was doubting how that formation was going to work. But seeing the drive they came through with, the second half, I kind of see that the team is also coming to terms with, that formation. And I think today to be a different ballgame, because they have finally, there's a little cohesion that's coming together with that kind of formation. So today I expect a better performance. From Real Madrid.
From Real Madrid. Okay, so it's all set. The next couple of minutes, we'll be hitting onto the MetLife Stadium. That's where this game is coming up. But already we've had 3 semi-finalists book their place. There's Chelsea. There's also Fluminense, there's PSG. Now, quickly, let's talk about the teams that have already qualified and the quality. Looking at the 32 teams, do you think all these 3 teams, deservedly should find themselves where they are currently?
We'll be so biased and so unfair to these teams if we say they don't deserve a spot, because looking at Fluminense, for instance, they defeated a team that beat Manchester City. So why would you say they don't deserve a spot, even though that wasn't what we were all expecting or taking? These weren't the teams we were taking, especially club like Fluminense, you see. So they've done well, so they deserve credit for progressing to this stage. But as of if they will be able to make it to the final, that will be the main case study here. So I'm rooting for teams like, for the betterment of the tournament, I'm rooting for teams like Real Madrid. PSG has already qualified, Chelsea well deserved. So I foresee a certain PSG meeting Real Madrid, and then the winner gets to the final, and also Chelsea. I take them to also go to the final for us to have a very good competitive final. So yes, fair enough. I'll give them the credits for at least progressing to this stage of the competition.
All right, so if you just joined us, then you can also hit the like button and don't forget to also share so that the next available person can also enjoy the smooth watch along and also play-by-play commentary on the Our Media channel. Like I said, we are live on TikTok, we are live on Facebook, we are live as well on YouTube as the players midway onto the MetLife Stadium, New York City. That's where it's all happening. Real Madrid taking on Borussia Dortmund now. Borussia Dortmund qualified in the group stages at the end. They played out a 0-0 draw against Fluminense in their very first game. They won 4-3. It was a 7-goal thriller in their game against Mamelodi Sundowns, but they managed to grab their first 3 points. They went on to beat Ulsan Hyundai, a lone goal, to top their group. Now, in the round of 16 stage, they come up against Sergio Ramos's Monterrey, and they managed to also scale through by 2-1. You believe that performance, Messi, gives them the impetus coming into this game?
They've come a long way, that's for sure. They've come a long way. So once they are here, I feel like we need to give them the benefit of the doubt, that at least they can put up a great performance, because this has been a very surprising tournament. The surprises, the shocking news, the upsets, basically. So for them to make it this far, they have some level of quality. So I think we should give them some credit and expect them to deliver. So I think they can do it.
But talking about upsets, do you think one will be recorded should Borussia Dortmund beat Real Madrid?
Yeah, it should be.
You term that as an upset?
Right now, looking at the teams that have qualified, we have Chelsea, Fluminense, and PSG.
Yeah.
Dortmund making it is going to be an upset, because we are already pitching Real Madrid and PSG for the ultimate final. So Dortmund making it means that there's no more going to be that spectacular game that we are looking for.
But you think PSG Dortmund wouldn't be as spectacular as we think it would be?
No, it wouldn't be as
relatively
Real Madrid and then PSG meeting for a final.
No, the semi-final.
Semi-finals.
All right, so then it means that Real Madrid should qualify on the basis of being good and not on merit, because that's why they have been pitched against Borussia Dortmund in the last quarterfinal game. And like I said, it's coming off at the MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, in New York City. I've already gone through the lineups, but the referee for the game is Ramon Abati Abel, Brazilian international. He will be the center referee. I'll be going through our messages, or some of the messages, so don't forget to bring in your full-time predictions. I'll be taking the full-time predictions of my pundits here before kickoff. But then Real Madrid, they also did a good job against Juventus. It was a very, very, cagey game they played against Juventus. You think if anything from that game is, or if the result from that game is anything to go by, you think they also have the quality it takes? Because in that game, they looked flat.
Goes back to what Messi said initially. You see, it all boils down to pedigree, history, and character. Juventus, before facing Real Madrid, were one of the best teams in this particular tournament. They were scoring every team. They were winning on a winning streak until they met Real Madrid, and then Real Madrid beat them very, very narrow, 1-0. So I think same thing is what you are going to see here. Dortmund could play all the game. They could come up with their A game, but with experience and then that sort of big team mentality, Madrid could just beat them with maybe some certain sort of narrow goal, and then that will be all. So it will be a bit of surprise if Dortmund are able to sail through ahead of Real Madrid. But if Real Madrid wins, that's what most of us are expecting.
All right, so it looks like a packed arena, and I believe before kickoff, or even before the 20th minute mark, then this stadium should be packed to the brim. But like it's always been done, as customary as it's been, a minute silence will be held for Diogo Jota, whose funeral was held today together with his brother Andre Silva. They both lost their lives tragically on Thursday morning in Spain, in the Zamora province. And some Portuguese, national team, players made it to the funeral today. Cristiano Ronaldo was absent, but then Ancelotti and some other Liverpool players also made it there. Messi, I've not taken your thought though, but then I don't know how you received that news of the sad demise of Diogo Jota.
That was very shocking. That was very shocking. A very sad news. Looking at the circumstances surrounding it, and his recent, history, his recent successes, it just doesn't make sense at the end of the day. But it is dead. There's not much we can do about it. Even though we are saddened about it, we just wish that the family, they pull through in this very difficult time, as we are also just trying to get over it ourselves.
All right, so we continue to sympathize with the family of the departed Diogo Jota and his brother Andre Silva. But did you know Jota is J in Portuguese? So that's one bit of story behind his name. Jota is just J, so he's known as Diogo J. And Jota is J, the letter J in Portuguese, because he wanted to change his name a bit. All right, so the players are set on the pitch. It's Real Madrid taking on Borussia Dortmund, the last quarterfinal game in the ongoing FIFA Club World Cup game, coming to you live from at the MetLife Stadium. But then we are also here in the studios of Al Media. And don't forget to subscribe. Like I said, we are still aiming for the 20,000, mark as far as subscribers is concerned on YouTube. So be the next one. You could be the 20th or 20,000th, subscriber on YouTube. But then we're also live on TikTok, and we are also live on Facebook. Real Madrid are playing in their customary traditional all white colors. That's why they are known as the White Angels. And then also Borussia Dortmund, they are done in yellow tops, black shorts, and then also yellow hose. And Adeyemi will begin the attack for them. Julian Brandt, Adeyemi moving into space. Yes, he gets there, but then it's Dean Huijsen who is closing in on him. That's a good job. Just stations him a bit, but then Adeyemi will just try and get one through. It's to Svensson, who is playing as a left wing back today for Borussia Dortmund. But it's definitely going to be a close one, Messi. Looking at Borussia Dortmund and the kind of and you know there was one interesting take from that UEFA Champions League final they played. People were like, if they were clinical enough.
True.
But when you think their mentality since that time has changed?
That is what I am looking forward to seeing, because you have met them in a similar match, right? And you've seen their last performance. You've seen they were a bit sluggish in their last performance. You are playing the same formation. You have every right. Like, you should be able to put up something more than you did previously.
All right, so Borussia Dortmund, they will be hoping to at least get their sweet revenge over Real Madrid, because just last year in the UEFA Champions League final, they were losing to Real Madrid in a game where many thought, they would have won. But then Vini Jr. and then also Dani Carvajal struck in the second half to give Real Madrid their 15th UEFA Champions League title, which is still unmatched by a stretch. But then it's Julian Brandt who tread one through. The flag might go up, but it stays down. Show Grassi will cut back onto his left, wait for support from his teammate. But finally, the flag goes up. Courage. It was coming.
Yes. It was a clear offside from Guirassy. He didn't calculate his run right there. And then good positioning by Rudiger and then Huijsen up there to keep him offside. I think I like the energy, the first opening minutes. I like the energy from Dortmund. They've been able to mount some bit of pressure on the Real Madrid defense. Madrid are yet to see the other side of Dortmund. We have not seen hot jersey color Dortmund goalkeeper is wearing yet. So I think they are playing very good in the opening minutes of the game.
All right, so just 3 minutes gone here. We have about 87 more to do, and a possible extra time should it be tied after regulation time. It's Antonio Rudiger. He moves centrally, finds Dean Huijsen. Dean Huijsen has really slotted into that Real Madrid defense without any fuss at all. He signed from AFC Bournemouth for around £50 million plus. But then it's Fede Valverde who would feed Vini Jr., who has a bit of space to attack, and he tries to go with the outside of his right boot.
But then play a Trivela where you can just easily go with a
maybe he just wants to add finesse to what he's doing. But Real Madrid are in possession now. It's Jude in control now. Trent has acres of space in front of him at the right hand side, but then no one is looking there as of now. Arda Güler would move to the left hand side, finds Fran Garcia back to Arda Güler, and Real Madrid would begin to stamp the authority. Dean Huijsen into a very tight corner, but then scrambling for it, and the ricochet and the first goal kick. And it's quite hot over here. You can see the weather, humidity quite low over there. Definitely we'll be having a couple of cooling breaks here. And even look at that, there's a huge machine blowing some cool air, towards the players. The weather could have an impact.
It could, but I think they've been through a series of this type of weather already, so they should be, a little bit okay with it at this point.
All right, so Chouameni fouls Shehu Gurase. He scored 13 Champions League goals last season. He shared the award, top scorers award, with Brazil's and Barcelona's Rafinha Diaz. Rami Bensebaini, a long one to find Svensson. Svensson will try to keep it in play. Yes, he does, but then he has Trent, trying to defend. Oh, with lovely skill by Adeyemi. Will he try to find a teammate? Adeyemi holds on over the elaboration. Svensson with a cross, a header, and that was nearly goal number one. It was Julian Brandt who came close, and Real Madrid can have some breathing space.
I think Adeyemi delayed the ball. He should have at least had a Kehler. Tried a bit. Yes. But what a header from Julian Brandt. If only it was on target, I think it would have troubled the goalkeeper. Yes.
But what do you think Messi, Dortmund should be doing in this game, unlike they did in the UEFA Champions League final a year ago?
I think it's still early stages and they are mounting the right pressure. So they should just keep pressing forward.
Okay. Yes. All right, so the cross into the box. This should be the first goal, and another chance goes begging. It's the young chap who is on 3 goals, looking for his 4th in the tournament, and 2 Garcias nearly combining for the opener for Real Madrid. But that was a lovely ball into the box, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He miscalculated the run. Yes, he should have. I mean, he didn't know. He thought maybe there would be some sort of intervention, but yes, he came all the way, begging chance in front of him, but he couldn't have any impact on it. Right, it was a very good run by Garcia, the left back, to another Garcia who missed it eventually.
So 2 Garcias are nearly combining for the opener. You talk about the attendance, and that is overwhelming.
Yes. They are all.
I mean, for the final game. It's much expected.
And the MetLife actually holds a capacity of 82,500.
Yes,
so you can imagine if it's up to the full capacity, then that should be a packed arena for Real Madrid. And I believe that's the reason, one of the reasons why the organizers would want to have perhaps a Chelsea Real Madrid final.
Chelsea Real Madrid.
No, a PSG Chelsea.
Yeah, PSG. Okay, but all these 3 teams are likely to raise good numbers.
Yes, especially with Real Madrid, they often go to the US.
They do
for their preseason. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So yes, any other team, Chelsea. Yeah, Chelsea is likely.
Fluminense, Dortmund in the final. How would that be? Real Madrid coming close. It should be the first goal, but it's cleared. Valdemar Antod right there at the right time, and some applause from Dani Carvajal, and you could see Kylian Mbappe looking closely from behind.
Yes, I think Aaron Garcia has been the best player so far in that white jersey. You see, that was a very clever ball into an empty space, and then good anticipation from Nicolas Soule. Yes.
All right, so we're talking about the attendance a bit because both teams are heavily represented as we speak. But then Arda Güler will go short, finds Vini Jr. He's not really had, the sort of tournament you'd expect, but then the corner. Another ball into the box, and Jude Bellingham would stretch but wouldn't get to it. And Dean Huijsen, what a signing he's been so far. But we're talking about teams potentially making it to the final and the sort of crowd it can pull. And we are asking if Fluminense and Dortmund will give them the numbers they want.
Maybe for the fact that it is the final, people would like to,
regardless of the reputation they both come with.
And at this point, this whole tournament is literally on a brink with there's a lot of opposition already against the tournament and all that. So I think people will just want to be there to keep the energy. But I don't know how heavily represented.
Okay, so for your information, the grand finale will return to the MetLife Stadium, the same stadium, 82,500. But then it's Real Madrid coming forward. It's Arda Güler on his left foot, will spray one to the left-hand side to Fran Garcia, who goes short to Vini Jr., back to Fran Garcia, and then back to Arda Güler. And he's really been bright for Real Madrid. Arda Güler and Vini Jr. will feed Fran Garcia into the box again. And again, Borussia Dortmund will just survive the scare again. Back to Arda Güler. Will he cross? He goes back, crosses, and this should be the first goal, and it is. It's a 21-year-old who gets Real Madrid in front. It's Gonzalo Garcia who shoots Real Madrid in front after being fed at very close range, and Real Madrid already celebrating inside 10 minutes of this game.
He got that on the silver platter. Very easy goal. Kudos to, I think Arda Güler sang that in here. So a very well-tailored, measured cross into an empty space. So even if he used his teeth, would have still went in. So kudos to Arda Güler for such a sweet
Messi, what was this guy trying to tell us?
He's making a statement. And he's not stopping at anything.
Clear on side.
Yes, he's not stopping at anything.
But what about that technique for, a finish? And Kylian Mbappe should be, I don't know, I've married this one, but should he be field strengthened?
He should, because I'm sure he will be up. He'll be in the next, their collab, their club collab. I'm sure he will be in. This is his first official senior team play, and this is the performance. He's likely to get the golden boot of that one.
Perhaps because if Real Madrid should advance, then he still has a chance to extend it. So just 10 minutes play.
This match he will still score.
Exactly.
Here, and it's Real Madrid in the lead currently. And you were thinking Borussia Dortmund controlled the first 7 minutes, and all of a sudden after the pendulum swung, then Real Madrid, just takes the lead after having very little time to attack. And you'll be thinking, have Borussia Dortmund learned anything from their last crucial game against Real Madrid? Because mentally, it looks like they still look a bit scared when they attack.
I'm led to believe that they have still not grasped the full idea of who they are playing against. They've still not understood what Real Madrid is made up of.
All right, so Sheu Grassi will attack for Borussia Dortmund. They have the chance to level it. A shot from distance, but that wouldn't worry their goalkeeper. That's Thibaut Courtois. But then, one of the issues with Borussia Dortmund has been the fact that they are a high-scoring team. But sometimes, Courage, they struggle to find their boots, their scoring boots, don't they?
Yes, especially in a strike. If you have a striker like Guirassy, you are guaranteed goals up front. So what you need to do is just to place the ball at the right position, for him to pounce on it. Now,
this should be number 2. It is Jude Bellingham by twists and turns, right at the edge of the box, finds Vini Jr. again, but Vini Jr. wouldn't be able to control that one. But you're talking about Borussia Dortmund, and you're asking what's that canker? What said that so cancerous to them that they are not able to get over it? Is it a mentality, or sometimes they just go off when the state lights are so bright?
That's a very good question. I think when they face teams like Real Madrid, they tend to feel maybe less.
Is inferior? Do you think psychologically they feel
It must be because a lot of teams that come up against teams like Real Madrid tend to lose games because of inferiority and not even about their quality of play.
Right, so 12 minutes are gone. Aurelien Tchouameni fouls Sheu Grassi for the second time in the game. Sheu Grassi, he was on the score sheet 3 times. He's also on 3 goals in this tournament for Borussia Dortmund. But then, as we speak, he needs a 4th one, just like Gonzalo Garcia has grabbed his 4th, which is currently the lead Real Madrid are holding on to. Borussia Dortmund now will have the chance to also dictate the pace. Over there, but then that doesn't go through. Back to Ryerson. Vladimir Anton. And it looks like Real Madrid look comfortable, trying to defend at this point.
Yeah, 1-0 lead in less than 15 minutes. Everybody would want to defend that.
But do you think Real Madrid would also play, Borussia Dortmund will play into their hands?
They should.
Looking at the pacey players they have up front.
They should.
All right, so Rami Bensebaini would have possession, finds Karim Adeyemi, who has drifted a bit towards the left-hand side of attack. And it's still Borussia Dortmund in possession now. They look all comfortable, with the ball now. Vladimir Anton will move to the right-hand side, finds Niklas Schul to Ryerson, the American international. Now Shehu Gurasi, Julian Brandt, all the way back again to Vladimir Anton. And it looks like, despite the fact that Borussia Dortmund are keeping possession, they are just not finding the opening now. But it seems they can't for now. And Aurelien Chouameni will tackle it in and just relieve Real Madrid of that pressure. Courage.
Yes, Dortmund having the lion's share of the possession right now. But then what matters most is what Real Madrid has just done. They are 1 goal ahead, so they are just cooling their tempers, trying to pounce on a counter-attack. So right now, if you watch the game critically, Dortmund enjoy playing possession or keeping possession, but then Real Madrid also wants to pounce on the counter-attack and then see what they can do from that. And then they have players capable of doing that. They have Vinny Jr., who is very, very pacey in nature, and then also Trent, who can just switch up a play from just one touch. So while you are enjoying the possession, do not make mistake and then forget about your defense. Right,
so a word of caution to Real Madrid and also Borussia Dortmund, Adeyemi. And you talk about the fact that defending is one of Trent's most atrocious qualities, but on that occasion, he manages to get the job done. And Luka Modric looks out from the bench. He looks on from the bench. There's Lucas Vázquez. There's also Kylian Mbappe. You talk about the bench of Real Madrid, and this should be a starting 11 for any team at all in Europe.
I don't think that is what Zabi is looking at.
Okay.
I think he's trying to give room for. You have a new player in the team, you have a young player in the team. I think he's trying to give them the chance to grow and then, bond very well with the team. Kylian Mbappe has his flow. Once he's on, you see him flow dynamically with, Vini and then Bellingham. He flows so smoothly. They have their own pace. So I think he's trying to give, the new people, he's trying to let them find their feet in the team also.
All right, so it's still 1-0 to Real Madrid, the last quarter-final game. So already 3 semi-finalists confirmed, and Real Madrid at this point likely could be the 4th one. But that is if they could hold on or even add up to their tally. But then there's a Real Madrid player on the turf after a very hard tackle from Rami Bensebaini, and that looks to be Gonzalo Garcia,
yeah, he put his shot.
The goal scorer. But no malice in that. You think that doesn't warrant?
No, he hired a lawyer over there after clearing the ball. He knew maybe yes, he could still pick up the ball, so he held
had
him.
to act fast.
All right, so Dean Huijsen would find Arda Güler. He's really flourishing in his new role in central midfield. Arda Güler to Jude Bellingham now. Frank Garcia back to Jude Bellingham. Dean Huijsen. Dean Huijsen treading one through close space, wouldn't go through, but lovely touch and control by Fede Valverde, the Real Madrid captain, right at the edge of the Borussia Dortmund box, releases it to Aurelien Chouameni, Chouameni to Güler, Güler to Frank Garcia, Frank Garcia will go short to Vini Jr., a quick of, some passes between the two over the Vini Jr., back again to Arda Güler, to Vini Jr., back to Arda Güler. A series of runs being made, but then that pass wouldn't go through. Rudiger would move to the right-hand side, find Trent to go all the way back to his goalkeeper, Thibaut Courtois, and they would love to start with the build-up again. Real Madrid, they look very comfortable, and this time around, we are not seeing Chouameni so deep in defense. It looks like he's playing more as a DM other than what the formation showed right before the game. But it's Real Madrid again. Jude Bellingham. That's a good piece of skill to hold on to that ball. Arda Güler. Frank Garcia. Back to Arda Güler. Dean Huijsen. Trent Alexander-Arnold. Oh, that was an awful first touch. Gives it away to Svensson. Now Borussia Dortmund will regain possession. Ramit Ben-Sabani, Vladimir Anton. Back to Ben-Sabani, Ryerson. And Real Madrid would want to, press very, very high now, but it's still Borussia Dortmund a bit, dauntless on that occasion. But then that long pass will fall kindly to Aurelien Tchouameni, who will cover. Good skill by Jude Bellingham. And at this point, what we saw Real Madrid do against Juventus is what they are doing now again. But then they are in the box with Jude Bellingham back, to Gonzalo Garcia. And Trent will put that one in the box. Who is attacking? And that is goal number 2. Both Garcias combining to give Real Madrid another goal. And at this point, the Los Blancos are just flying away. And this is just what you'd love to see. But then good job done. The build-up was slow. It was precise. The ball into the box. And one Garcia feeding the other for the second goal.
I think Real Madrid is preserving energy and they're using it at the right time. You can see that Dortmund has possession most of the time. Most of the time they are hovering around the ball, making a lot of passes. But when Real Madrid gets it, they press on and they go for it. And they try to get a goal. That's one thing the Dortmund team is failing to do.
So that's an assist for Trent Alexander-Arnold, his second assist in as many games, but that was just beautiful courage. Trent to Frank Garcia, Madrid 2-up.
This the difference between both teams' qualities. You see, just one cross from Arnold, as I said earlier. That was all you see. And then meanwhile, Dortmund has been enjoying possession all this while.
They've been hovering around the ball
where's the quality?
for like
who is going to make that decisive pass? Who is going to make nothing out of something? You see, so this all boils down to the difference in quality.
All right, so the scoreline or the scoreboard showing us quite a lot, but then the quality on the pitch is quite distinct as well. So it's Real Madrid 2-up against Borussia Dortmund. How do Borussia Dortmund, survive from this scare? But then they would make another error, and this could be 3. And it was Vini Jr. trying to catch Gregor Kobel off his line over there. Quite ambitious from the Brazilian winger. And Borussia Dortmund will survive this scare. Maybe for now. All right, so show grassy now. And Borussia Dortmund, they'll win a free kick. But Jude Bellingham complaining bitterly. He thinks that was a fair challenge. Nothing illegal about that. But referee has already whistled for a free kick to Borussia Dortmund. 21 minutes played. Is the watch along live commentary, our media channel. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and you can also join in. Just join us, and let's all enjoy a beautiful game of football together. FIFA Club World Cup had so many critics, but then gradually we could be seeing a worthy champion being crowned on the final on the 14th of July. But it's Borussia Dortmund for now. Ball still stays in touch. And Denhuizen would love to go back to his goalkeeper, Thibaut Courtois. And so far, so good for the Madrid defense. Yeah, they've been tested once or twice inside the first 10 minutes, but they've been resolute, haven't they? They
have been very resolute, and it has shown on the scoreboard. 2 goals in less than 5 minutes.
So Freddy Valverde a bit clumsy there on Vladimir Anton, and he escapes the judgment of the center referee. And now it's Borussia Dortmund. Ryerson, Vladimir Anton into midfield, finds his teammate Marcel Sabitzer. Svensson. Yeah, yet to see the impact of Pascal Gross. He will launch one into the far end as Borussia Dortmund approaches the Madrid 18-yard box with Karim Adeyemi, and no space for them. Another unforced error and a trip from Svensson. Referee continues to be lenient in the game, and I'm sure it's just a matter of time before he flashes the first yellow card of the game.
Yes. It's a matter of time.
On the other end, we saw Valverde clipping someone, and this time around he's the one being clipped.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, very interesting scene.
So a typical example of the hunter being hunted over there, and Freddy Valverde.
He's even been less involved in this game because
maybe perhaps he has so much quality around him.
So he's not had to use so much of his power because I mean these other guys are very much up to the task.
Yes.
There's Trent, there's Jude, there's so many people who are literally playing into the game. He doesn't need to do too much. So for now.
All right, so Valverde just saving some sort of energy there for PSG, because if Madrid should advance, then there's a possibility of a Madrid PSG, and that should be the final before the final, I believe.
Yes.
Especially looking at the fact that PSG en route to winning their first ever UEFA Champions League title, never played against Madrid. So you can imagine what sort of matchup we could be having here.
It will be a spectacular one, very spectacular one.
All right, so blockbuster, box office, every word could just describe that potential semi-final pairing, PSG against Real Madrid. That's if Madrid can hold on to this 2-0 lead. Now 25 minutes played here, but then it's Sheo Grassi, who hasn't really been stationary as far as being a number 9 is concerned. He's been very, very mobile now, and he has drifted in between two players, but unfortunately he failed to have enough grip there. Borussia Dortmund will recover. Julian Brandt. That's a long one towards Svensson. Svensson will trap that down, finds Brandt, the captain, who would move to the right-hand side to Ryerson. Ryerson's crossing to the box. No one there. There's a couple of players, but goes over the head of everyone. Real Madrid will try to break free, and they do, to Fede Valverde, who would switch play into midfield, but then that's a long one. And fortunately, there's Garcia there, who would just mop up and try to attack again. Trent. Fede Valverde. Trent. Adagula. Trent. Adagula. Trent. And Real Madrid playing at their own pace, similar to what we saw them do in the Juventus game. Like, they had a quality, but they chose when to attack and when to defend.
They are picking all their battles, and they seem to be winning because Dortmund is making long passes and trying to advance at a faster pace, and they don't seem to have anybody even there to intercept the long passes they are making.
All right.
Real Madrid on the other.
So this should be goal number 3. Is Jude Bellingham. Will he feed? He goes all by himself and whisk away from giving Madrid a third goal.
I think he should have.
Jude Bellingham.
Passed that ball.
He should have passed that ball.
So selfish.
He should have passed that ball.
Yes, he wanted to get his name on a score sheet and scoring against his former club.
But do you think passing would have been the best option?
Yes.
The best option
was clear in front of him. He should have buried that goal. Like Garcia would have buried that ball easily.
Messi, you think if it was you would have passed?
I mean, looking at the circumstances, Garcia is like 4 up.
All right, so everyone disagreeing with that Jude Bellingham decision there to shoot from distance, but he wouldn't care because his side currently are 2 up against Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund should be mindful of a potential walloping here should Madrid really have their groove. They are very, very, ruthless sometimes when they want to be. But it's Svensson now at the left-hand side of attack for Borussia Dortmund to Vladimir Anton. Spreads to the right-hand side. Niklas Schul. Schul will take a couple of steps, but then finds Ryerson back into midfield. There, that finds his teammate Sabitzer. So Grosh back into midfield, and a looping ball over the top, and that's some good defending there by Fede Valverde. He's been involved in every single thing.
Yes, how did he get there? I thought he was on the right side, so how did he get there? Yes, he's the engine of the team. He's been the engine of the team for a very while now. Even under their former boss, he was still. So I'm not surprised. Then
he was very key.
Yes, and then he now has a responsibility of being the captain of the team.
But if we cast our minds back, this is the same player who missed the penalty in their first game against Al Hilal.
I think he's trying to make it up
for that missed penalty.
Yes, because since then he's been everywhere. He's either providing an assist, he's either intercepting, he's everywhere.
All right, so it's Borussia Dortmund's chance to have the deficit, but that's also a terrible ball which lands into the safe hands of Thibaut Courtois. But it's Real Madrid now who would want to break away, and they just couldn't because Trent over-elaborated, and that ball was picked right off him. Now it's Vinny Jr. He has Jude Bellingham advancing. Jude Bellingham with the ball now, and Jude Bellingham finds out Vinny Jr. would shoot, and that wouldn't worry Gregor Kobel at all. And it looks like there's one thing, you know, we can see from the Real Madrid players. It has to do with the fact that they're enjoying what they're doing now.
So much ease.
So much ease from Real Madrid. They're really enjoying what they're doing now. And it's Borussia Dortmund now trailing. It's the Watch Along live commentary, our media channel. We are bringing to you the last quarterfinal game of the FIFA Club World Cup. So there's Fluminense, there's Chelsea, there's Paris Saint-Germain, and then we could get to see who advances over here. Real Madrid with, you know, a foot in the semis, but can they hold on? And that is the million-dollar question now for them inside the MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, New York. But now it's an attacking throw into Real Madrid. Ramid Ben-Sebaini. And the first cooling break of the game, we mentioned rightly that it's quite hot. So definitely there'll be a cooling break. And on the 30th minute mark, Courage, quickly your assessment of the game we've witnessed so far between Real Madrid and Borussia Dortmund.
The intensity is okay. Yes, they've been really aggressive and then determined so far. But then once again, I don't think the scoreline is a reflection of what we are watching. If you take out the two goals, which is impossible to take out, though, I think Borussia Dortmund has been on top. They've been doing everything right except putting the ball at the back of Real Madrid's net. So if they're able to keep the same energy and then add a bit of fluidity or show a bit of seriousness in the third half, they should be able to reduce the deficit before the halftime. So I expected them to at least come up with a goal before we enter into the tunnel.
Right. So it's quite hot at the Real Madrid with the 2-goal advantage. Gonzalo Garcia with the first one, assisted by Ada Gula, and then also Fran Garcia with the second, assisted by Trent Alexander-Arnold. Then guess what? Or maybe tomorrow morning, the headlines we might be seeing in the UK will be Trent assists again for Real Madrid. Because the last time they were like, Trent assists match-winning goal for Real Madrid. That was when they played against Juventus. They made it all about their player, but that was a lovely ball into the box, right?
Yeah. That was a very beautiful goal.
And the Borussia Dortmund defense all over the place, and
Real Madrid scores the goal.
Real Madrid just getting the goal.
It's a running joke that no matter but Madrid
will end up. No, but that's one of the mentalities, you know, they built for themselves over the years, that they do not always, you know, fancy the free flow, you know, type of football, but they would just want to. They are efficient and very effective when they have to courage.
Yes. As I said earlier, they've done the most necessary part of the game, score, and they're not just once. They are up by 2-0. So even if you score, even if BVB are able to get a consolation, it's more likely that they can even add more. Until BVB scores 2, they are not back in the game.
Right.
So yes, they've done the most necessary aspect of the game by scoring 2 very good goals, heading into the tunnel for first half. So it's on to BVB. It's up to them, whatever they want to do. But as at now, Real Madrid are in a comfortable lead. The first department of the game.
All right, so Niko Kovac, head coach, he looks on a bit displeased with what he's seeing now, but that's what you get when you come up against a team that has won the UEFA Champions League on record 15 times, 8 times more than any other European club, and that is Real Madrid with prestige. Trent, all the way back to Antonio Rudiger. Rudiger would also head it back to his goalkeeper Chouameni, and like what has been, you know, the positioning of Chouameni in this Real Madrid system, because we saw them play with a 3-back, but it looks like it's not a 3-back.
Yes, he's playing more like a deep line playmaker. Yes, he's very deep in defense, helping the defense, and then as well as helping in midfield. So he's more like a versatile free role player in that pivot. If the team is on transition to attack, he's there. If they're defending, he's also there.
All right, so now it's Adeyemi, and there again, Borussia Dortmund exhibiting signs of, some, I don't know, but that's low quality for me. Adeyemi just not, doesn't seem to know what was behind him and what stolen. But then Jude Bellingham trying to go diagonal also with that long ball will just hit it into no man's land.
So Adeyemi's most powerful effort is his space. So he likes to utilize his space, but then when to utilize it is very key. So you don't just get a ball and then start running with it. You need to target your marker, look behind, who is behind you, who is in front of you. But if you get a ball, then you put your head down and then just try to go with it with so much pace, you end up running into another opponent. So that's what exactly Rudiger did, just shielding him off the ball for a comfortable catch for Thibaut Courtois.
Right, so that's it. 35 minutes played at the MetLife Stadium, and Vini Jr. will get at the end of that one. He has 3 players to move past, but he just couldn't, and that was a good block by Borussia Dortmund. But they would lose possession, and Adagula will attack for them. Adagula will shoot from a distance and ricochets off a defender, and Shea Grassi now guards. As Borussia Dortmund now trying to move as a diagonal long one to Adeyemi. Adeyemi could set up a 1v1 with Antonio Rudiger. He does. Antonio Rudiger watching the steps closely, and he just moves back again. Pascal Gross now. Pascal Gross all the way back again would find Vladimir Anton. Anton will move to the right-hand side to Reyerson.
There's no sense of urgency in attack.
Exactly.
See, you get the ball.
For a team that is 2-0 down.
Yes, you're supposed to move the ball so quick in the third half.
They are so
you get the
slow
ball,
on the ball.
then see.
All right, this should be the equalizer. Oh, sorry, that wasn't even the equalizer because they are 2 down. But then that was a good hit.
Julian Brandt is a natural left-footed player, so getting the ball on his weaker foot was something else. But then, at least should have tried to get it on target.
Right. So Julian Brandt failing to get that one on target, and it's not Borussia Dortmund. They've not really asked any questions of the Real Madrid defense.
Not at all.
And it looks like Courtois and his defenders are having a field day. Inside the first 36 minutes in this game, right? Still Borussia Dortmund. Now they will go all the way back to Gregor Kobel. Now back to Vladimir Anton, Rami Ben-Sebaini, the Algerian international, Karim Adeyemi, Vladimir Anton again. We'll move to Niklas Schul. Schul into midfield would find Brandt. Now Pascal Gross wants it, but then Anton will hold on to it. Rami Ben-Sebaini again, a move made and a wayward pass. Aurelien Chouameni to Jude. Jude holds it on for Chouameni. Referee would ask play to be restarted because Jude Bellingham was fouled on that occasion. But we've not noticed the fact that Jude Bellingham failed to come up against his brother because his brother was suspended for this game.
Yes.
Messi. But how would it have been for him to face his brother?
It would have been funny because former club, your brother, your former, it would have been nice.
Yeah, it would have been historic. It would have been a bit emotional.
Yes, emotional.
Emotional.
That was the word.
Emotional is the word. And Pascal Gross heads into the books. We said it was just a matter of time that the referee just loses it. Yeah, and
there's been so many incidents.
Pascal Gross becomes the first victim of the referee, and it's 37 minutes played. About 7 more minutes to be played in the first half. But then definitely we would be doing a minimum of about 2 minutes because there was a cooling break. At least for the players to just freshen up a bit and adjust to the hot weather conditions in New Jersey, in New York. But then as it stands, it's 2-0 to the GOAT Real Madrid in the comfortable lead at Adeyemi 1v1 with Trent. Trent has support from Fede Valverde, but then also that was an intervention from Trent, and Real Madrid will be considering a corner kick, which they'll have to defend. Courage.
Yes, Adeyemi, I think he should be more. He she infused a bit of skills instead of always going for the
It's
pace.
always the same.
Yes,
it's always the same direction.
Yes, and then
they keep coming at you
yes.
from the same direction.
You should try something else.
Like, so hard on
At this point, it's funny because you are doing the same thing.
Yes, and then
like 5 times.
Yeah, it's not working.
The last 10 minutes.
So just add something a bit.
Right, there's some sort of a tussling in the box after Vladimir Anton and then Rudiger. Rudiger looks a bit livid. Real Madrid players.
I think there's something dramatic. He's just trying to be dramatic.
He's just trying to
it's Fran Garcia on the tip showing his lip. Oh, that's Gonzalo Garcia actually. And who was he engaging in that tussle with? So Vladimir Anton, the bulky, lanky defender there. Just a bit. These things do happen.
You don't get to start tussle with a player with this height and
Gonzalo says
Rudiger will come through and then make it.
Rudiger can't even stand.
But Anton is a huge guy.
Very huge guy.
He's a giant. All right, so Riasen to take this corner kick. Jude Bellingham in there. Unfortunately, he doesn't get a chance to play against his brother. And this could also be the end of the road for his brother Job, who joined Borussia Dortmund from Sunderland. Cross effected. Again, another corner kick wasted, just like that. But an Adagula will start the counter-attack for. And this could be a goal. Does it chip it? Yes, it does. And Vini Jr. For the second time in this game, he's attempted a shot from about 30 yards out.
Should have just lobbed the ball very.
He's trying.
But why he applied so much force?
He's enjoying himself a little too much.
Is it because they are too up?
Yeah, he's enjoying himself a little too much. And you know, Vinny, he'll add a little bit of sarcasm in there. So that's just him being himself.
Right. So at this point, it's more. Likely Madrid could get a third than Borussia Dortmund halving the deficit.
I don't recall the last time they had even a shot on target.
No, they are not trying. They are not even trying.
Yes.
All right, so 40 minutes played at the MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, New York, and it's that Sheo Grassi, 13 Champions League goals, joint top scorer. He has 3 already in this tournament, but he needs to do a lot or score a lot more to draw his side level. Karim Adeyemi is really being heavily criticized by my pundits this evening. I do not know what he's at fault for, though. But then Messi and Courage, they've really not spared him one bit. But then it's still Borussia Dortmund, Nicolas Schul, and the ball will drop again. And Pascal Grosch will get at the end of that. He tries to just link up with Julian Brandt. But then both players not on the same page over there. Rami Bensebaini, that was a heavy touch to his goalkeeper, Gregor Kobel. Kobel has space back to Bensebaini, and Borussia Dortmund will begin another attack, hoping that it gets them the favorite or the most favorable result. Now into midfield. Marcel Sabitzer, Vladimir Anton, Niklas Schul, Riasen on the ball, back to Schul over there. Can he get something in? He does. This should be it. But then the Borussia Dortmund would also squander yet another half chance. Not the best of chances though. But then that was a clean tackle. Referee says, and Schul will get one into the box again. He does. But that was aimed at practically no one. And
the distance was so far. The distance was so far.
That's a typical centre back for you. So he's not your
goalkeeper.
That's Niklas Schul again. And that's Riasen over there, and no direction whatsoever. But referee says that's a corner kick, I believe. And Vini Jr. there again. And that was that quick counter, blistering pace from Adagula. And Vini Jr. had that luck. And just look at that. That was wayward.
What was he thinking?
Nothing.
And Alonso's, frustration is all like...
frustrated because
this ball was more easier to score than to miss. So how did he miss this?
I'm sure he made it look like it was more easier, or it was easier to miss than to score. Right, so we go again. 2 or 3 more minutes to be done in the first half. Barring any added on time, that we would be heading back into the tunnel for half time. It's Pascal Grosch into midfield. And Borussia Dortmund would love to attack, at least, save their faces before the halftime whistle goes. Riasen, Vladimir Anton, Pascal Grosch, will he shoot on his left? Yes, he shoots, and another quite disappointing.
That's
but
a
then
goal kick.
it's been adjudged to have gone behind the line, so that is a goal kick. And Messi, I just want your honest opinion. What's it that we are witnessing now? Is it low quality, or is just poor tactical play?
Very low quality, very low quality, and for a game like
Roberto Carlos
you should be moving forward, making a lot of advancements, not going around in circles for like over 45 minutes. At this point, Real Madrid have figured them out, and the next half is going to be worse than this one.
All right, so Messi predicting that the second half could be even worse because there could be an avalanche of goals, and that could all be sinking into the net of Borussia Dortmund. But maybe Niko Kovac is preparing something for halftime. You never know in a game of football. Now it's Pascal Grosch in midfield. Vladimir Anton, Rami Bensebaini, full stretch to keep that one in play. Rami Bensebaini into midfield, finds Pascal Grosch. Marcel Sabitzer with a long one, trying to locate Reyerson, but he just couldn't. And it's Sabitzer again. Schul to Reyerson. Has space to send one in, but he doesn't.
Predict. What do you think?
What are the back passes for? Square passes, back passes. What are these
It's
for?
now Karim Adeyemi. Adeyemi will swing one into the far post, but that wouldn't go through, and Reyerson will try to keep that one in. Yes, he does. Would go to Schul. Reyerson.
This is a typical example of a team that
Julian
lacks
Brandt.
individual brilliance.
Individual.
Come on.
Strength.
One person could just pull a string and that's all. Yes. The passes are becoming way too many. See,
Karim Adeyemi, the
you surely
trickster.
come back. You surely pass this ball back.
Exactly.
Can he
surely
take
pass
on
back.
Emaka?
No, he will not take.
So as predicted and prophesied, Adeyemi goes back again to Bensebaini. But now it's Julian Brandt who can make something happen. Now he finds Reyerson. Reyerson has the support of
Cross this ball.
his teammate.
Just get a
Reyerson,
cross.
lovely skill into the
Yes.
box. The header.
That's
Nearly
it.
there's a
It's a
push over
decent
there, but
cross.
referee doesn't whistle for anything. Was the referee? Oh no,
Foul,
referee
yes.
says it's an
At least it's
offensive
not
foul.
bad. This is better than
A little push.
Messi, you believe it was promising at least?
yes.
Not until the last second.
Mm.
Not until the last second. I just thought they would repeat what they've been doing for the past 45 minutes.
So it's Svensson, the left wing back of Borussia Dortmund, found himself in a very attacking position, but referee insists that he has impeded that Aurelien Chouameni and Niko Kovac, he watches from the substitutes bench with
going through his
a
mind?
sarcastic smile. I think because with your team losing, there's nothing to smile about. But just 1.5 minutes of the 3 minutes added on time done here. Borussia Dortmund still chasing the game, but in Real Madrid still managing the game with some very good decisions. Throwing to Dortmund. Rudiger, he's had a field day, hasn't he?
Yes, he had.
It's just flowing through the game.
Yes, he didn't.
Flowing through with ease.
All right, so where are you watching us from? What's your prediction? Madrid 2-0 up. Maybe it would be nice to hear from you what the final scoreline would be. Let's hear from you what you have to say about this game. What do you make of the performances so far? Gonzalo Garcia, Fran Garcia giving Real Madrid the 2-goal lead here. But Vini Jr. would get that one and want to face the Borussia Dortmund defenders. Vini Jr., Fran Garcia. Ball lost cheaply by Real Madrid. A foul and free kick to Borussia Dortmund. Courage.
The back line of Real Madrid are just relaxed because they don't need to do much. The Borussia Dortmund players themselves will just defend for them because if you are passing, you're having 10 touches on a ball and then you're not able to progress past.
The tackles lack finishing.
Come on. So
great finishing.
yes,
so every time
when it goes like this, it becomes way boring because it will be one way football. Passes. It's already half time.
All right, so the referee just did Borussia Dortmund a favor. He's asking them to go back to the dressing room And just to readjust everything, and it's here at the MetLife Stadium in New Jersey in New York, where Real Madrid have taken a 2-0 lead on the 10th minute mark and then also on the 20th minute mark. Both goals coming from Garcia, Gonzalo Garcia with the first goal. His fourth goal in the tournament takes him back or takes him to the top of the top scorers chart because he's still playing along with Benfica's Angel Di Maria. So Borussia Dortmund, that could be a tall mountain for them to climb. Messi,
how many goals does Leonardo of Al Hilal have?
I think he's on three or so, four. So we'll be cross-checking. But Messi, quickly your thought before we also head into the dressing room.
I know Zabi is going to reshuffle his team for the second half, and looking at what Dortmund is doing, I don't think they stand a chance at this point. I'm sorry for them. At this point, I don't know, but sorry.
All right, so sorry and courage.
Let's give them. Let's see what they'll be able to present in the second half. Maybe they are going to conjure some magic, and then for sure, I know Xabi Alonso also want to give chance to other players to also have a feel. So maybe he might just turn. If the moment Xabi has a little bit trait of his squad or tactics, maybe Dortmund could capitalize on that to conjure some magic or. Let's see what they have for us.
All right, so you've heard from my expert analyst here as far as the first half of the last quarter-final game of the FIFA Club World Cup is concerned. It's Real Madrid with a 2-0 win, a lead. Sorry, the game is far from over. So they have a 2-0 lead, commanding lead over Borussia Dortmund in the first half. We are live on TikTok, we are live on Facebook, we are live on YouTube. And it stands, it's halftime. We'll be back for the second 45.
Yeah, well,
Right, so welcome back for the second half of the last quarterfinal game between Real Madrid and then also Borussia Dortmund. So Real Madrid went to recess at the back of a healthy 2-0 win. It wasn't just our lead, it wasn't just about the scoreline, but then how effective, efficient, and how dominant they were in the first half. But then Niko Kovac, before the commencement of the second half, has effected 3 huge changes at Deyemi, Niklas Schul, and one more player out, which will be confirming for you. But Jan Koto is in. Maximilian Bayer also has been thrown into the game, and then also Frank, is it Mecha also has been thrown. Pascal Grosch is also out. So it looks like it's just instant response from Borussia Dortmund before the second half begins, because they believe that with 45 more minutes they have enough time to make up for all the wrongs they've done in the first half.
You see, these are very, very average players on any day. But then who does Real Madrid have on their bench? Certain Kylian Mbappe, Luka Modric, Dani Carvajal. You see, so compare these players who just came on to what Real Madrid has in stock or on the bench. So, Charlie, it's
they're fighting a losing battle.
BVB are going to punch way beyond their strength. You see, it's just unmatched in terms of quality.
Okay, so second half upon us now, and it's Jude who would want, some space to shoot. Fadi Valverde also fixed a shot there, and the cross in, but it would be returned, and Borussia Dortmund will now regain possession. But Messi, let me come to you. 3 straight substitutions from, Niko Kovac, that's the manager of Borussia Dortmund. But then Borussia Dortmund in a promising area where they can make something happen. Yes, Kande in the box now. The ball squared and nearly finding Shehu Grassi. There's a push there, a nudge at the back, but Mecha will hold on to that ball. But Messi, let me quickly take your thoughts about Niko Kovac's decision to throw in three fresh limbs.
Like Harry said, these are not players that can match up to any of the changes that Xabi Alonso is likely to make. So I don't know how that is going to affect their game, but I think the second half just started. So
right, so Maxi Bayer are not able to utilize a very golden opportunity there, but it's Fede Valverde running at the far side and trying, to just get one onto the on-rushing Vini Jr. and then also Gonzalo Garcia also eludes everyone, but it's Vini Jr. who gathers to front Garcia, Jude Bellingham, Dean Huijsen, and for Real Madrid, it's an unchanged setup for them. And it looks like they are very, very comfortable, especially with the head coach, that Xabi Alonso courage.
Yes, they will surely make some substitution. Yes, going forward. But then as of now, they just feel comfortable. They feel they are okay. Let these people go inside and then let's see what happens. But then, yes, and then also they are in the lead. Two comfortable goals, and then they're not in a hurry to make any.
All right, so it's a Trent error there, and Borussia Dortmund again. And you question their decision making in the third half. This time was Svensson trying, to also play in one or two of his on-rushing players inside the box. But it looks like the quality is questionable here.
Very questionable, because Real Madrid came to the second half with renewed energy. They came with more energy than they had in the first few minutes of the first half, and these guys have still not matched up to it.
All right, so corner to Borussia Dortmund. They are down by 2-0, and a goal can change the complexion of this game totally. That's what you sometimes get from games. But another corner wasted, referee point to for a goal kick to be taken, and that was Rami Bensebaini who rose highest to get his head on that. But how solid, how resolute, courage has this Real Madrid team been in defense? We've not seen the best names in defense, but as a unit, they've looked so.
Because Dortmund have not troubled them, especially see Trent and Alexander-Arnold. His side, like anytime they This one example. You see, he's not matched up the energy. Yes. They end up defending with very, very cheeky ease. You see.
So that's Jude.
Just one player going through three players.
Where they should have pressed them taking the ball, they still end up taking the ball from you.
So Jude maneuvered his way, literally walked.
Exactly.
Through two Borussia Dortmund players there, but. What's happening now? So you have, a convoy of, Real Madrid stars warming up. In there, I can see Luka, I can see Kylian, I can see, Asensio, I can see, and sometimes this thing can scare you if you are, an opposition. You see such, an area. And it reminds us of the days of the Galacticos, when they assembled the stars, the huge stars in Real Madrid.
Some of these Galacticos are seated up there, by the way.
So a couple of them also. And Niko Kovac, he still has a smile on his face, though tells you he's unperturbed by what's happening. But
training against Real Madrid.
No. Against Real Madrid.
There's no shame, There's no shame.
Yes.
There's no shame. Okay, so that's what they're saying, no shame. But there's Jan Koto. He signed for Borussia Dortmund at the beginning of last season from Girona. He also had a stellar season that season when Girona finished in the top 4 and qualified for the UEFA Champions League. They led the La Liga for larger parts of that season, but unfortunately, they just couldn't go on to, record a historic La Liga triumph. But it's now Borussia Dortmund to Ryerson at the right-hand side. Points back to that position, and another miscommunication there, and it's becoming awful to watch. But that's
to Bellingham.
But how do these brothers look so much alike?
It's their mother.
Oh, come on, they know their father. But there's Jude. Jude also, his brother spoke about the fact that one of the reasons why he joined Borussia Dortmund was to, continue the path of his brother with his development, because they believe Borussia Dortmund gives you the right platform for you to grow as a player. And he's not the only Englishman to have joined Borussia Dortmund in recent times. As we speak, JB Gittins could be making a move. There's Jadon Sancho, whom we saw some time back as well. So in recent times, we've seen some English youngsters, make it all the way to Borussia Dortmund, and they end up thriving over there. But it's now Real Madrid with Arda Güler. The cross from Trent, but then would come off Svensson. Max Bayer. And it looks like they are just beating themselves up whenever they are in possession. Borussia Dortmund, they do very little when they are in possession. Very, very little when they are in possession.
It's like once the ball is in their possession, you feel like, okay, we got it. And once it leaves, it's like, okay, it's gone. There's no drive.
All right, so the mentality, the mental fortitude of this Borussia Dortmund team, been questioned again. And it would really take something magical and extraordinary for them to draw level in this game, because they are 2 down with 53 minutes played, and we have about some 37 more minutes to go in this game. Shehu Guirassy and ball block again over there, and Vini Jr. will feed Jude. Jude will return to Vini Jr., who has space, would want to attack. Yes, he does with all his space, and he moves up, and that's Real Madrid winning themselves a corner kick, and that.
I thought it was a goal kick.
For a second, you'd be thinking that was a goal kick, wasn't it? But that was a tussle again over that. The final touch came off
the last touch.
The Borussia Dortmund player, and it's Real Madrid. This is just their second corner in the game. Tells you that they've not really had a lot, from the corner line. But it's Arda Güler to take it. There's Antonio Rudiger Lekin. That's a disappointing corner kick by Arda Güler. But this is Gonzalo or Fran Garcia. So Fran Garcia is 25 years of age. He wears the number 20 shirt. And Gonzalo Garcia is 21 and he wears the number 30. And both players have managed to score today for Real Madrid in their game. Arda Güler setting up Gonzalo Garcia, and Trent Alexander-Arnold also setting up Fran Garcia. So There we go again. There's Borussia Dortmund now in possession. Vladimir Anton to Reyes, and now Borussia Dortmund, they would really have a lot to do here. They would have to punch above their weight. They would have really want to bow out of that tournament, with some proud moment. But then it's a ball into space, and it's Fede Valverde, unbeatable on any occasion at all. Aurelien Tchouameni, the Frenchman. And the referee would definitely whistle for a foul because Benzabani had wrestled Gonzalo Garcia to the turf.
Yeah, Benzabani has been immersed in this game. He's been the best player of the Dortmund side. I only wish he was able to stop those 2 goals. So I like his aggression, his drive, his press resistance. He's been all over the pitch, attacking third and then also defending very, very well. It's a mark of a very good player. I think they need many of these.
They need more of
his
type.
Yes.
So Rami Benzabani, currently per my expert analyst, then should be the man of the match for Borussia Dortmund. He's the best player by far for them. He's playing at the left-hand side of defense in that 3-back system, and he forces a throw-in of Gonzalo Garcia. He's on 4 goals in this tournament, but then it's Vladimir Anton into midfield, finds his teammate Marcel Sabitzer, Aurelien Tchouameni, Gula. Gula would just square one. And Vini Gino tried to chase that one, but he's a bit late after just bumping into Vladimir Anton. Borussia Dortmund.
That was a clever guide for him to grab.
Julian Brand there. And Dortmund are just
playing very unconcerned.
They just don't know what to do with the ball, as it looks like. Jan Koto at the right-hand side of defense will feed his teammate Julian Brandt to Shehu Guirassy. Shehu Guirassy will be dispossessed of that ball. Very poor technique, to hold on to the ball, Shehu Guirassy. And there's a player that if you're considering the top 5 strikers in the world in the last year, then you definitely mention him.
Yes, he was top 3 in African Ballon d'Or.
African Ballon d'Or.
CAF player of the season.
CAF player of the year.
He was on the podium.
Right, so that's a shot and another wayward shot, Julian Brandt.
To think that he's even a left-footed player.
And it's I don't know where the GS are coming from.
The fans are well aware of what is happening.
But is this low quality? Is this just low quality from Borussia Dortmund? Look at a team that, last season were in the quarterfinals of the UEFA Champions. Is this low quality?
I expected more from them. I think they just knew their fate coming into this game, and they're just playing along until the end. you can't say you not play the game. So I think you just have to represent.
Poetic.
That's what they are doing.
And Niko Kovac is complaining a bit, but you're wondering who would save them now. There's no Adeyemi now in the setup. Pascal Grosch has been subbed off. Real Madrid with Aurelien Tchouameni. And that referee says play should continue. That looked a bit malicious to me, but referee says there's nothing in it, so Real Madrid will keep the ball. Aurelien Tchouameni will find his teammate back to Aurelien Tchouameni, who has a lot in front of him, but he decides to cross at the first time of asking, and Real Madrid are playing at a walking pace.
Foul ball.
Oh, so quite interesting because Tchouameni thought that ball had crossed the line for throwing. He picks the ball.
It was just on the line.
Was it on the line?
Yes.
Was it on the line?
Yes. The whole circumference didn't cross.
A certain part of it
was on the line. So it was fair. So that's one of the most interesting handball situations you would ever find in world football at this level. This is the highest level. And for a player to just handle the ball that way, it's quite interesting. But it's now Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund in possession now. Good ball to retain possession. Now Shehu Guirassy from the left-hand side of the Dortmund attack. Real Madrid will have defending to do. About 4 Madrid shots in the box. Again, not purposeful from Borussia Dortmund, but then it's Jude. Jude has Vini to release. He does releases Vini. Vini just couldn't get at the end of that. And it's Ryerson who wins the duel. And it's now end-to-end stuff now. It's Borussia Dortmund's turn to have their deficit. Can they do it now?
Because he's going to an area.
Clock keeps winding down for them, and Julian Brand and his teammates, unfortunately, not on the same tangent as another chance goes begging.
Too many passes.
Too many passes.
Too many bad passes.
Too many bad passes. That's what Messi is saying. Let's see if anything changes for these two teams. Real Madrid, maybe the only change they would want to see will be the scoreline increasing in their favor. So it's now Arda Güler, Fede Valverde, Jude. Madrid will move forward a bit with Trent, Tchouameni, Jude, Tchouameni. Oh, that was a forced pass and a forced error there. It's now Borussia Dortmund. You wonder if they're also trying to play at a working pace when they are 2-0 down. No, they are running.
They actually, I think they are more comfortable than Madrid.
All right, so let's see if something can happen. Max Bayer would shoot, and it's the goalkeeper up to the task. But then the smile, he looks up into the skies, and he knows that they would have to do a lot more to beat Thibaut Courtois.
That was a very good strike. When he was supposed to have passed this
particular ball, he decided to play a long shot.
And then went straight to Courtois.
And then he went straight to the keeper.
But then it's better than what they've been doing.
At least one shot of target.
Yes.
Right, so 6 attempts for Borussia Dortmund, just 2 on target. Yeah. There's Fede Valverde, feats Vini Junior. Flag stays down for Vini. Vini will find Gonzalo Garcia on the left, and no one over there. Ball back to Vini Junior again. Vini Junior, a bit of trickery over there, chicanery from him. And Tchouameni will bend that one off the woodwork. That was a rocket from Aurelien Tchouameni. And it's as if nothing has happened. But then, and that would have been an offside. But then VAR, I wouldn't be calling the shots at that time, but Tchouameni bending that one, and it was inches away from Madrid State.
That was a very good strike. Yes, only for the intervention of the woodwork. Yes.
So Julian Brandt has been subbed, and his place will be taken by Duran Vale, the youngster, who would also hope to try and make amends for Borussia Dortmund. Grassi is making a run, and again over elaboration on the part of Borussia Dortmund and poor decision making really summing up their day in this quarter-final game against Real Madrid. But heading into this game, Borussia Dortmund were still unbeaten, and they had only trailed in the game for less than 10 minutes in the tournament. Fran Garcia. Whoa, that was a nasty collision there.
That was so unnecessary.
Yan Koto should be very careful, because he just went with a high tackle, and Dean Hussein also, you can see that demonstration by Dean Hussein telling the referee, see, it was an air ball. He had no business using his foot over there. Courage.
Yes, that was a very nasty tackle. He shouldn't have gone with his foot way up like that. I pray Garcia is fine, because it looks a bit scary.
So Yan Koto goes into the books of the referee, and he is set to miss the next match. And I don't know why you're laughing, but he's set to miss the next match though. But Luka Modric would also be making his bow, and the Croatian fans also in there to support Luka Modric. And this chap, 39 years of age, he doesn't seem to have aged one bit. But he's not the only one coming on. Kylian also would definitely be making way, and Fran Garcia is all but not okay as we speak after that collision with Yan Koto, and that led to Yan Koto receiving. But then VAR is having a look at it, but I doubt this could be a
yellow card. Yellow is okay.
But you know, VAR is full of surprises.
I know, because I think it's more electric now. So
now, if you're Yan Koto and you know VAR is checking, what are you thinking?
Isn't this similar to what happened in the previous match?
Yeah, I think maybe it's similar, but that was less dangerous. I think less dangerous than this one. So VAR check is over.
On Garcia also.
So the VAR check is over. 65 minutes played, and Kylian Mbappe, he saw some minutes in their game against Juventus. He's set to see some minutes as well here. And you talk about the fact that he's coming back from injury, and they're trying to manage his game for him.
Yeah. They're trying not to put so much pressure on him, but still trying to let him be in the team. And that's quite okay.
But would you also say that, you know, the emergence of Gonzalo Garcia has been one of the reasons why they've not placed so much pressure on him? Because the young chap is getting the goals.
He's been very useful, especially in this tournament. Being his first major one also, he's been very useful. And he has filled that very big spot for Mbappe. And I think it's rightfully so that he gets, you know, all the accolades.
Now it's Real Madrid with Arda Güler. Arda Güler has little space to operate, and Real Madrid will lose possession now. Rami Ben-Sebaini to Ryerson. Ryerson to Valdemar Anton. Into midfield, Marcel Sabitzer. The long pass to Jan Koto. Jan Koto nearly got himself sent off. But then that's a push over there, and Real Madrid would have a throw-in to defend, and it's Duranville effects it. But what's the referee saying? That some protests are from Borussia Dortmund, but the changes will be made now. Fede Valverde will, and there's Vidi Jr. also being withdrawn. Jude Bellingham is being withdrawn, same as Alexander-Arnold.
Yes, it's well expected. Arnold, for instance, has not had any good game. He's not been the Arnold we used to know. For a player like Jude, I think they are just resting him for the next game, because this one is already done and dusted. Kylian Mbappe is supposed to have a field. Ceballos, he's been out of action for quite a long time, so he's also preparing himself for the upcoming season. Luka Modric, we know he will surely come to play, so it's spot on.
All right, so spot on. But Madrid came into this game having never lost in the FIFA Club World Cup. That's a record. They are impeccable in the FIFA Club World Cup. 18 games played, 15 wins, 3 draws for Real Madrid. That is truly remarkable.
Very remarkable. And looking at the fact that this is Xabi's first time with the team, you know, filling such big shoes and still delivering world-class performance is truly remarkable.
Right, so it's Jan Koto now shredding into space. Yes, he does, but there's a tussle for it, and the last touch definitely came off Duranville. And Fran Garcia seems fine now, and he's winning duels for Real Madrid. So 67 minutes are played at the MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, New York, as the last quarterfinal game. 3 teams already waiting in the semi-final stage. Chelsea, Fluminense, Paris Saint-Germain, and then also the winner of this game definitely will be advancing. After 32 teams enter the tournament, it looks like we are gradually getting to the climax with now Kylian Mbappe in possession. And Borussia Dortmund will have some defending to do. And this is Luka Modric, a 39-year-old with his first touch since joining the game. Oh, lovely. He makes it look so easy. He wants a return pass. It doesn't come to him. But this should be the third goal. And it's blast over the top. And Arda Güler with that. But Messi, there's something about Luka Modric. The way some players struggle to even tread one or two passes.
The connection between the players, the ease.
No.
And then you look at the Dortmund side, and everybody's just confused. It's
this is class, this master class. They've been out class.
This is what you say, ball knows ball. Ball knows ball. So it's Real Madrid still in a comfortable lead. We are live, our video channel, live commentary, watch along, FIFA Club World Cup. We're live on YouTube. You can subscribe to our channel. You can also hit the like button. You can also send us your comment, which we'll be glad to read for you. Quite a number of you, about 100 of you or more, are watching currently. And wherever you're watching us from, we just welcome you to our video page. You need to always be around by subscribing and also hitting the notification button for the latest in the world of sports. But then it's now throwing to Borussia Dortmund, taking Rami Ben-Sebaini to his goalkeeper Gregor Kobel, and then also Vladimir Anton Ryerson. Back in midfield to Marcel Sabitzer, the former Bayern Munich and RB Leipzig player, headed down. Chomeni, he's been a master in this midfield. He's won almost every single duel he's contested. And to Dani Ceballos, Luka Modric, Arda Güler. But how crucial will Arda Güler be to the Madrid setup next season?
Looking at the system they are playing right now, I'm quite unsure of his inputs. But I'm sure that, in subsequent matches, it will come to play more.
Wow. All right, so we're still here. It's 2-0 to Real Madrid, 2-0 to the good. And I don't know, but that's a lovely piece of skill. But then Madrid will regain possession. Luka Modric would feed Dean Huijsen into space, would find the left back Fran Garcia, and that was a good challenge by Jan Couto to just, halt Fran Garcia in his tracks. And Fran Garcia, Real Madrid struggling for consistent performances at the left back position. Courage, I believe this chap is really making a good case for himself.
Yes. Though it's early days yet, this is just a one tournament, but then so far so good for him. He's been very, very immense. He's done very well, capping it up with a goal today. I think not so many defenders are able to score goals or advance to the opponent's area. One of these, the qualities of a defender is able to defend well and then also do well in the other half. And then he's been able to combine both. He's defending very well and also advancing the opponent's half also very well. So he's done well, but then it's still early days for an overall judgment.
So this could be the third for Madrid. Kylian Mbappe waiting to tap into our open box, but for that timely intervention. But and that was a cross into the box by Luka Modric, to no one in particular. And now you can see Real Madrid really being dominant with the way they've managed the game. And a long one. Kylian Mbappe will definitely want to score over here. He traps the ball fairly and squarely, but nothing will be given to Kylian Mbappe and Real Madrid after he came down off the pressure. And now Borussia Dortmund are not even able to stand their grounds. They can't string passes together anymore.
This was what I was dreading for them, because I knew that if Xavi made these changes, it was game over for them. And you can see how clearly they are struggling to even keep possession of the ball now. They don't even get the ball to play around with. So yeah.
Wow. So that's just what's happening now. Real Madrid 2-0 lead in this game, and they've made it look so easy. Real Madrid are still unbeaten in this tournament after that 1-0 draw against Al Hilal in their first game in the group stages. They've not looked back, and they've won every single game. In the round of 16, they dispatched Serie A side Juventus by a lone goal scored by Gonzalo Garcia. Sometimes I'm forced to say Garcia. I'm not Spanish. So it's Luka Modric now. And whenever he has the ball, you can see space around him, because all the players are scared to go close. Dean Huijsen, but that ball will be curtailed now, and it's Fran Garcia now. To Dani Ceballos. That's good football. And Chomeni wants space here, but he will set up. And that should be goal number 3, Jude. And it's Luka Modric into Gregor Kobel's arms. And Luka Modric would. What would it mean to Luka Modric to guide this Real Madrid team to victory in this tournament?
It will mean that he came, he saw, he's conquered.
That's the best way to just close the whole book.
That would be such an amazing way to bow out. And I think the club is ready, the fans are ready to give him that, chance. I think that's why he still has playing time up until this moment. So everybody's waiting for that climax, and I hope he gets it.
Everybody will be waiting for it. He is loved and admired by almost every single footballer, and Kylian Mbappe here. Borussia Dortmund would want to defend. Kylian Mbappe coming close, and what's the referee saying? Referee says a goal kick, a last touch coming off Kylian Mbappe. He's really, trying to wriggle his way.
He's trying to get a goal before the end of this match.
And but you think he stands a chance of starting that game against Paris Saint-Germain, his former side? We've not really spoken about that matchup.
I think he wants to prove himself with this goal. If he's able to get one, I think he can make it into the starting 11 of the next game.
But if you have Xabi Alonso, you're starting him?
Definitely
because it's
not.
PSG?
Definitely not. Definitely. I know Xabi is tactical enough to know that he's not ready, health-wise.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Shehu Grassi would have some few words with his teammates, but as a Real Madrid fans, just enjoying the sunny weather. It's summer in the USA actually, so it's a bit hot over there. And if you're coming from Europe, then I'm sure you'd really want to enjoy this, diverse weather conditions in the United States of America, where the next World Cup will be happening in less than a year. It would be kicking off, and hopefully some of these players will be repping, because for the first time in the history of the Mondial, 48 teams will converge in 3 countries: Mexico, Canada, and USA. But then our second cooling break, quickly, let me take your thoughts. And what do Borussia Dortmund have to do now, Courage?
For me, I think the game is over. The game is over. They should just wrap it off. Dortmund, till now, there's no sense of urgency. They are not mounting any pressure on Madrid. They've even with the introduction of Modric, the midfield is more stabilized, and then they are having control of the game. Madrid playing very casual at this moment. Kylian Mbappe playing like a DB kind of like. So there's no pressure mounting on them. So there's no threats coming in. So I think they are commensurate with the defeats even. So
all smiles on the faces of the Real Madrid players, and like Courage just indicated, it looks like there's nothing really at stake. But Joe Bellingham would only have to watch, from a distance, as he watches his brother's team batter his team now. Better luck next time, Joe. But maybe he'd be thinking, I shouldn't have, gone in for that challenge that saw me receive a yellow card, and now I'm out.
I don't know what significance he would have offered to this.
Well, perhaps maybe some quality.
Really? Looking at a player like Gurasi, he's not been able to even live up to his own name.
But would you say it's due to the lack of quality surrounding him?
So let's say there's also Job in this game, and then I don't think they would amass any more quality than they already have. I don't think they would do much. They need extra players from elsewhere. They don't have those players in their team. Not even on the bench. Not even in the stands.
Right. So Messi just feels that it's just game over. But then in football, you just learn to believe and never lose hope until perhaps until after the final whistle. We've even seen it before that even after the final whistle, the scoreline can change, because when Manchester United played Brighton some time back, the final whistle went. They went back. They went into the dressing room. They came back, and VAR had to overturn something.
All
right. So Borussia Dortmund now, and another wayward pass to, restart play. They've really been, I don't know the word, but underwhelming. Real Madrid, Borussia Dortmund. Maybe that could be the word that best describes the kind of display we've seen from them today. Gregor Kobel, long to Riesen to Jan Koto, back to Riesen. Riesen will tread one through into the middle. Frankie Mecha is still up, and referee says it's a foul. But Courage, all things being equal, what would one goal for Dortmund mean to this game?
They are not even getting it. And even if they get it, I'm not sure.
Actually, be hypothetical.
Oh my, come on.
Oh God.
And if they get one goal.
I'm trying to be hypothetical. Like, what would one goal do to them? Like, let's look at the scenario where.
Unfortunately, we cannot.
Charlie, I'm not coming to you guys. I'm not coming to you guys again. It's okay. No. I'm not coming to you guys again. I'm doing this alone till the end. All right. So that's Duranville just tripped by Fran Garcia. And he wins a free kick.
Frank Garcia was with Real Vallecano last season. Yeah, he's been Real Madrid through and through, right from the academy to that. Then had some loan spells with Real Vallecano. Now he's been called back. There was a possibility of him going on loan again, or maybe signing a permanent deal elsewhere. But then, per what he has exhibited in this particular tournament, might be competing with Fernand Mendy.
Yes. So he would have to stay. So that's the ever-present left back for Real Madrid, Fran Garcia, and my pundits believe that he's done enough to write his name in the good books of Xabi Alonso as the 2025-2026 season looks to commence. But then, ball given away cheaply by Borussia Dortmund, Luka Modric now, and Real Madrid are not in the haste to add up to the 2-0 lead they already have. All they care about now is to manage the game with some short passes. Madrid will lose possession now as Borussia Dortmund. Niklas Schül, Reyerson, Schül, back to Reyerson. Koto is taken to that line and Reyerson is down, and it's even getting more interesting. But there's a change now, and this time you can see how fatigued some of these players are. And Duranville, who came on not long ago, has been subbed, and he has been replaced by Kane Chukwuemeka. If you're a Chelsea fan, that does name rings a bell.
With me, yes. Kane Chukwuemeka. I expected him to even start. I don't know why it was on them. Maybe, probably. I'm not sure it's due to injury situation, but well.
Maybe Niko Kovac's decision not to start him. But Madrid seem to have locked every single potential passing lane. And that's Yan Koto. Lovely first start to bring that down. And he has Mecha making the run. Yan Koto decides to go alone, and that's the most awful shot I've seen throughout the tournament.
To the elbows. I really don't understand.
But if you're a coach, you're calling him to come on the bench again. Like, come and sit down for someone to go. Alright, so Borussia Dortmund heavily represented at the MetLife Stadium. 82 minutes played here. It's a bit hot, but it's also the perfect time to visit the beach.
Imagine losing in the sun.
Yes, because you're in the summer.
In the summer, so you'd rather enjoy, the beautiful scenic nature of. But Borussia Dortmund could get a goal back here, and what are they doing? What on earth were they doing? Maximilian Bayer, and it's atrocious. What we
are scared to score a goal.
Oh, too much respect to Real Madrid, and we are wondering if PSG would also pay this kind of respect.
I don't think
to the Los Blancos. But that is a game to serve. PSG against Real Madrid, which looks likely to be a potential semi-final pairing, barring any unforeseen circumstances, which is far, way beyond imaginable at this point. Aurelien Tchouameni. That's Dani Ceballos to Rudiger, back to Tchouameni, Rudiger again. Tchouameni. Right, so 7 more minutes left to play. Dean Huijsen and Real Madrid pretty much comfortable with the scoreline now and the turn of events, because there's been nothing threatening from Borussia Dortmund, and the Los Blancos seem to be okay now. And that's a wayward pass. Niko Kovac will grab that. We'll try to expedite, everything. But Raul Asensio is coming on. Tchouameni will be subbed off. But this guy has been, I don't know, he came into the tournament as a starter until he gave away a penalty in the first game against Al Hilal. Then in their game against Salzburg, he gets himself sent off. And all of a sudden, it looks like his clumsiness has led to him being relegated to the bench now. You think it's fair?
I mean, once you play the music, you have to dance to it. And I think Xabi is not taking any chances with anybody.
with the squad depth of this Real Madrid
he's not
team,
taking
you are not
chances.
supposed to be gambling with
Yes,
things.
he's not taking chances with anyone.
Yes.
So once you do something that causes the team.
Yes. And he's a new gaffer.
Yeah.
He needs to start hitting the grounds running. So if you're going to distract him, he has options, so many options.
Too much options.
Yes.
All right, so it looks like Raul Asensio will have a lot to learn, especially as far as his recent treatment is concerned. He's really been relegated to the bench after costing Real Madrid in the first 2 games in the competition. This is the chap.
What is the story with Rodrigo?
Now, I need to be asking you, what is the story with Rodrigo? Let's see.
I think this is one of the times I've even seen him,
But do you even have Gonzalo Garcia start ahead of Rodrigo?
Exactly.
Just tells you the whole story.
Are we being fair here?
Yeah, you need to be fair.
Garcia is a typical number 9.
But Madrid had been playing without a number 9. They were winning.
Under which coach?
Under Carlo Ancelotti, when they were playing with Rodrigo, and then also
Xabi Alonso. There is a certain Xabi Alonso.
But he started even last season when
finally he gets some play time. So
yeah, but do you think all the news circulating about his departure still holds?
It does very much hold, because it's looking more like that is the plan, and I think he may need a few minutes to also prove himself to his upcoming club or whatever. But I think that sale is very much in the talks. Yes.
So Rodrigo, Gorgeous has replaced the first goal scorer, Gonzalo Garcia, and this chap is really admired as well. And he's been heavily linked with a move to Arsenal, and Real Madrid are saying that the team that wants to acquire the services of this guy should bring the right amount. But you're wondering, Kai, what's the right amount for Rodrigo?
For the fact that he's been able to win some trophies and stuff, not based on the performance alone. If it was with the performance alone, I would say 40. But with the fact that he's been able to win some trophies and stuff, 50 is okay.
Wait, but
I don't really rate
are the trophies he wants? No, wait. Are the trophies he wants going to play for the new team?
I don't really.
Messi,
yes,
you'd concur or you would object?
I would object. That's like too low a price.
Oh no, that's how.
What are you looking at? Because just recently,
80.
Newcastle made a £55 million bid for Anthony Elanga.
Are you sure?
Yes, they had the initial £40 million deal bid rejected. Now they went with an improved bid of
55 for Anthony Elanga.
And will you place Anthony Elanga?
How much did United sell him to?
Way below 50.
You saying 40? Come on.
Oh yes, 40.
Okay, so let's be fair. What are you looking
I'm
at?
looking at 80, 85.
Wow.
For Rodrigo Gorgeous.
Wow.
80, 85.
Based on what?
Wow.
Based on past performances.
A player is
the way you mentioned the money, sir.
10 league goals a season.
You're looking at 80, 85. 80, that's quite a lot.
I don't really rate Rodrigo that much.
You don't rate him
He's
that
an
much.
average player.
You think he's an average?
I think
An okay player.
See, if people underrate him a lot.
No. He's well appreciated.
I think in the whole Madrid, he's underappreciated.
No. He's well appreciated.
Oh, come on.
All right, so the Rodrigo debate still continues. I don't know what Real Madrid fans make of it, but he was a mainstay in the Madrid setup a couple of months ago or even seasons ago.
There's a team that played with that number 9 and he held this team.
They held a fort for them. So maybe times have changed, systems have changed. Then we have just under 2 more minutes left here on the clock inside the MetLife Stadium. We are live in the studios of Al Media, and we would want you to be part of this interesting escapade. Just hit us up where you're watching from, and then also what you are also expecting. It's almost time, so but maybe anything can change. There's still some few minutes for Borussia Dortmund to at least just rewrite all the wrongs and just try and just get some. And that's a shot, and Emeka Chukwu Emeka is.
So why was he sitting on the bench all this while?
Niko Kovac should be answering that for everyone. And that was a good shot. Really, the clearance of, lanes for him. Yeah, but he still tried to squeeze that one. and Chukwemeka. And the Borussia Dortmund fans will definitely be packing later, unless maybe you want an extended summer vacation, then you'd really be packing. But Real Madrid are just seconds away from sealing a semi-final berth, and it was never in doubt for Real Madrid, maybe for any other team, but not Real Madrid.
Exactly. It was an easy win. I thought they would come up with more
after that 2-0 lead, yeah.
But it is what it is.
It is what it is. And the time now is 90 minutes, and the referee will be signaling how many minutes we'll be doing here. The long ball into the box, headed away by Svensson, and this should be the third goal again. Gregor Kobel with his foot to keep that out again, and Aragula.
This type of energy.
That's the sort of energy Messi was talking about. 5 minutes, enough for Borussia Dortmund to get something.
Why are you still dreaming?
This is football. Like how? How are you all giving up already?
There's more.
Unfortunately, they don't have remontada in the dictionary. And
wow, what a
save! That was a Digia-like scene, huh?
What a block as well.
That was a block, and there's a corner kick, and Real Madrid.
The possibility of Real Madrid increasing the tally is even harder. Yes,
but that doesn't negate that doesn't negate the fact that Borussia Dortmund could still go on to make something happen. But it's not Real Madrid in the box, and this should be 3-2.
How did he miss that?
It's Antonio Rudiger who misses from about 4 yards out, and Rodrigo nearly getting an assist to his name. But that was a swift darting move there to get into the box, and that's Real Madrid for you. Oh, he was trying to go with some lovely skill there. See this guy. There we go. 3.5 more minutes to be played here at the MetLife Stadium, and Borussia Dortmund, they need to believe. Maybe they need to see clips of Manchester United's comeback against Bayern Munich in the year 1999 at the Camp Nou. Okay, they have one fan here. Borussia Dortmund, it's Marcel Sabitzer, Svensson, Mecha. Well, back to Vladimir Wanton, and ball cleared, but this could be one, and that is a one hell of a goal for Max Bayer, and Borussia Dortmund get one back. And see their faces now. Look at their faces. Can you say something now? No, say no.
I said I was rooting for them.
No, you want to say something now?
A minute ago, that's football for you. I literally saw it come.
But this is football, and now it's more like game on. It's more like
what they needed to do,
and they failed to do it. But Max Bayer just pulls one back for Borussia Dortmund. That wasn't the cleanest of strikes. No Real Madrid player. And Niko Kovac, just look at the reaction, and he's telling them, see, we have some more time to get something. And that's football. Sometimes you never say never. And Max Bayer smiling. But it's also, interesting to note, or, even see how maybe they might be approaching the last couple of minutes.
I like that, Bayer got his goal finally. Yes. He's been very fundamental in the second half. He's put his best foot forward. He's been everywhere. So it's just nice to see him, get a reward for his effort. All
right. So Real Madrid wouldn't want extra time, because that would really, really mean that they will exert more energy heading into their semi-final clash against PSG. But for Borussia Dortmund, they wouldn't want to bow out without putting up a fight, which currently they are doing. And it's now Real Madrid hoping to increase the tally, restore that 2-0 2-goal advantage. And the cross into the box, and who is there? And that is spectacular from Kylian Mbappe Lotin. We're talking about Mbappe getting on the score sheet, which could really help his confidence.
It's a goal.
No, but it's one thing scoring a goal, but it's another scoring such a pitch of a goal.
Yes, this is spectacular.
But what are they doing? What are these two sides doing? Because after first 20 minutes, it was just 2-0. It stayed there until the 90th minute, and in the space of 2 minutes.
It changes. when the changes come and then they see how effective it is, you have to come.
So that's Kylian Mbappe's 44th goal of the season. That is marvelous, incredible. But that also was that's one of the best goals we've seen in the tournament so far. Was he onside?
Yes.
VAR might have a look,
onside.
but he looks onside to me. And just look at that. So that famous Zidane reaction, and you can see that.
I know
that
he's
was
wanted
half.
this goal from the very.
That was on the volley, and Kylian Mbappe doesn't look sharp, but then his instincts, predatory instincts, just coming to bear over there, and the referee could be, and that's what we thought was Borussia Dortmund trying to put a scare, and then all right, so let's go, and it's Borussia, and that's a penalty. And can you imagine what's happening? Then we asking, why did you allow Kylian Mbappe to score then?
Red card.
It's a red card to Dean Huijsen, and
what if the Mbappe goal comes as offside?
No. Already the play has restarted, so I doubt. Maybe unless VAR does something with it, don't think about But now
what
it's.
if they miss this penalty?
Maybe perhaps if they miss, then still it changes nothing. Because right after this penalty, I know that the time is up, and the red card has been flashed already, and he wants to have a wet. But there were new rules that no one approaches the referee, and that's why the referee is trying to be stern over there.
But
he's calling Kylian Mbappe. And you can hardly know what Kylian Mbappe. So the red card will be flashed definitely. And another red card, is it true? So we'll be confirming that in a bit. But it looks like Dean Huijsen wasn't the culprit. Dean Huijsen has been sent off. So he was a culprit. He pulled Shehu Gurasi. So in the first semi-final game of the day, we saw 2 red cards are being shown to one team. That was PSG. Yes. But then they managed to score again. And there you have it. So it was Dean Huijsen who did the pull in there. And that was just the right call. And you'd be thinking, see, okay, yeah, it was instinctive. This allowed him to score.
Very smart play from Gurasi to have fell
just played into it.
Yes.
Once he fought the time, I was like,
so this chap will be playing for Real Madrid in their next game. Do you know how big of a blow that would be?
Yes, it is.
There's a certain Asensio.
There's a certain Asensio.
I'm sure in that.
What's the condition of Militao?
Militao, I believe, is still on the sidelines and isn't fit.
What a dramatic end.
Yes.
So after the first 20 minutes give us 2, the next 70 give us none, and the last 5 has given us, or close to giving us 3.
Yes.
Like football. And my pundits at some point thought, see, Borussia Dortmund cannot even score a single goal. Now they are going to score 2.
Point was like
no.
So he's missed 2 out of 5 penalties.
And so Kylian Mbappe has
yes, he was approaching the referee too much.
He's complaining. He's overly complaining. If he doesn't take it, he might
get
a card again. So Kylian Mbappe into the books of the referee. But Shehu Gurasi there, and Dean Huijsen will take a long, lonely walk into the tunnel, into the dressing room, and that could be his final action in this tournament, unless maybe they appeal. I doubt they are going to win it.
Gurasi, if he scores, he's going on 4 goals, right?
Sure, Gurasi scores, and he could also level the joint top scorer in the UEFA Champions League. Gurasi, and that was a blast. But do they have enough time? Show Gurasi.
He played 7 out of instead of 5 time. 5 minutes at a time.
7 minutes.
How do you waste all the time when you could literally pull up like this?
Yes, but I'm sure they'll surely have some 1 minute additional time again.
They should.
Yes,
because
yes.
All right, so you talk about football being a funny sport. You also talk about football being a mysterious sport, because sometimes it doesn't follow logic. But a referee could be whistling any moment from now. 5 minutes of added on time initially, and now we've done 9. And Real Madrid still leading in this game. Borussia Dortmund do not want to, be sent home packing for now, which is the most likely thing to happen. Yeah, Kylian Mbappe was booked for dissent. Too much unnecessary noise. And Cotto with a cross into the box. Would they get a goal? And that was a save.
Penalty?
What? Close.
No, and
that's over.
Was full time. That's the full time whistle. And Whoa, that was incredibly close, Messi. And Thibaut Courtois' reaction after full time tells it all. And the referee whistles for full time. And Thibaut Courtois is all of a sudden the hero of the day. Can you imagine?
All of a sudden, he barely got any balls to catch. And then,
but that was a good chance. Whoa!
Damn, they should have equalized.
Was it a handball?
That wasn't a handball though, but just look at that. Ooh.
They should have oh my god, this was so cool.
That's not the cleanness of saves, but Nico Kovac. But that's it. So quarterfinal games have come to an end, and the last one was what we just witnessed, an epic game between Borussia Dortmund and then also Real Madrid. Real Madrid showing so much class. They took the lead through Gonzalo Garcia in the 10th. 10 minutes later, Fran Garcia doubled the lead. In the 90th minute, we saw Bayer draw one back right before Kylian Mbappe made it 3-1 to restore Real Madrid's 2-goal advantage. And then Sheo Grassi from 12 yards to make it 3-2. And then when we all thought it was moving into extra time, there came Thibaut Courtois, the savior for Real Madrid. Full time, Real Madrid 3, Borussia Dortmund 2. It's now confirmed PSG will be facing Real Madrid in the semi-finals of the FIFA Club World Cup.
The game we have at hand.
Epic.
No further comments. People should catch us on our next episode. I'm reserving all my comments for now.
Simply epic. All right, so that's all we have for you. It's been so nice. 2 semi-final, quarter-final games today. It's been crunch. It's been so exciting. We've enjoyed every bit of it. And if you were with us, then we would still want you to stay with us because the semi-final games will be live. Here's the watch-along live commentary with me, Josiah, on the Al Media channel. We're live on TikTok. We're live on Facebook. We're also live on YouTube. Thanks so much to Messi. She did a great job alongside Courage, my astute and able panelist. Myself, your commentator, your host, Josiah, will be back again for the semi-final games. Bye.